Well, hello, folks out there in YouTube land. Got a big show lined up for you. Let's get right on into it. All right, the hot seats. Oh, my goodness. And we got 3 must-wins this Saturday for all 3 of these schools and these coaches, actually. And each one of them are on hot seats for different reasons. So let's start out with hot. Now, the South Carolina Gamecocks, this was a team that was on a run last year. You know, they had those special magical 2 top 10 wins that they got. Connor Stallions. Excuse me, got a little cough. But anyway, they had those 2 magical top 10 wins somehow when their team just went from terrible to great all of a sudden and then back to terrible this year. But they have followed up a terrible start where they were 2-6 at one point and couldn't get up off the mat to where they've beaten Jacksonville State and Vanderbilt, which are, you know, you would expect that. But they did get a quality win against Kentucky, and I'll show you. That's this one. They won by 3 points at home. And Kentucky's a decent team, so that really helped them a lot. That got them to 5-6 with a chance to get into a bowl game. They've got to play Clemson, but it's at South Carolina at 7:30 tomorrow night. If he could get to a bowl game after being 2-6, that would solidify him big time. Now, I don't think he's going to get fired either way. You know, winning those 2 easy games, then winning a good game against Kentucky has helped him a lot. And plus, he was still riding high from those magical top 10 wins that he supposedly won, that he won. But here's what I will tell you. If he loses this game tomorrow night, which most likely will happen, Clemson is looking for some serious revenge after their defeat at Clemson last year. They'll definitely have blood in their eyes. And look, South Carolina and Clemson don't get along. They do not like each other. It is a true feud. Just us Tennessee Vols fans think we know a feud. No, South Carolina Clemson is a feud. Anything in-state is just rough as can be. But this would help him a lot. Otherwise, he's going to go into next year, no bowl game, no 15 extra practices, 5-7, losing record, and he's probably going to have to make some changes in the coaching staff, which is pretty typical when you have a losing record. And next year will be his year. If he does not have a good year next year, he'll be gone. I don't see any way around it. If he goes 6-6, 5-7, something like that, they won't keep him. If they do, I'll be very surprised, especially if he has 2 losing seasons in a row. That's just very hard for anybody to stomach in the SEC. But, you know, we'll see. That's why he's on the hot, not the hotter or the hottest. Now let's talk about the Florida Gators. Now, if you've watched this channel, you know they are my nemesis.
Hello, Newman.
Hello, Jerry.
That's right. They are my Newman, and they drive me crazy. They have had their way with the Vols down there at the Swamp for 20 years with 10 losses. So I've really got it in for them. They've just, some teams just have your number. But unfortunately for them, Billy Napier has not exactly knocked it out of the park. Last year, losing record, got boat raced in the bowl game against Oregon State, I think it was, and he kicked a field goal just to get some points on the board at the end of the game. I think they got beat like 31-3 or something. But anyway, he's on a 4-game losing streak. And he needs to beat Florida State. Now, Florida State doesn't have their quarterback. Neither does Florida. They both lost their starting quarterbacks last week. And the Florida, I got to say this, Graham Mertz, the way he went out, I'm telling you, if you're going to go out, that's the way. He got a first down. 2 guys sandwiched him, hit him in both shoulders, obviously dislocated one of them or broke his collarbone or something. But he manned up. I got to give him a lot of credit for that. And he's played well this year. He really, much better than anybody expected, including this guy.
I was not exactly right.
But they need that win, something awful. And this is their opportunity. It's at the Swamp, which means, look, again, this is in-state. So you're talking about serious grudge match. And this game's going to be at 7 o'clock, again at the Swamp. And he really needs this. He's already lost 3 4-star recruits. And the big thing that he's been selling everybody is the future. Hey, I've got this great recruiting class. You know, we're building the process. I hear the process all the time for some reason. And he's Mr. Detail, Mr. Detail. If you're Mr. Detail, why is your special teams terrible? Why are they screwing up on the simplest things all the time? So I don't know that I buy that. But if he wins this game, that would be huge. That would take a ton of pressure off of him because if you look at his record, like I said, he's lost 4 in a row. Georgia, which that's expected. Arkansas, that was a absolute backbreaker. LSU, that's not unexpected. And then Missouri. And they could have won that game. So if he ends up 0-5 the last 5 games, misses a bowl game, misses all those practices, and that's obviously hurting his recruiting, this is going to be a tough offseason for him. I think he survives. regardless, I think he survives. But it's going to be tough. This will be his year coming up. He will be on the hottest of hot seats. If he doesn't win more than 6 games next year, he'll be gone. That's my opinion, and I'm allowed to have an opinion. But I don't think he survives that. If he goes 5-7, he's definitely gone. That would be 3 losing seasons in a row. No thanks. I know Florida fans. They are actually terrific. I hate to give them this credit. I hate to do this.
I got to do something here. I still can't believe it.
They're a terrific fan base. They're very passionate, and they've got plenty of money down there and a ton of talent. They're not going to tolerate 3 losing seasons in a row. That will not happen. Now let's get to the hottest seat, which you're going to think this is crazy when you see this guy's record. Actually, you know what? Before I start talking about Jim Harbaugh, I want to let the Michigan fans know, if you've watched up to this point, you probably need to consider not watching the rest, because I'm going to kind of tell you how it is, and you're not going to like it. So my suggestion is this.
Just walk away.
Yeah, listen to Humongous and just walk away, because this is probably going to upset you. You're going to need a participation trophy. You're going to need your Gen Z toboggan, a safe space. You're going to need everything, because it's going to snowflake the crap out of you. So you've been warned. I don't want to hear it in the comment section. Oh, how dare you, Michigan, Jim Harbaugh is the greatest thing ever. No, he's not. But anyway, and that is one Jim Harbaugh. The guy is undefeated this year. As you can see, 11-0. Now, a lot of these wins were easy. The first several were very easy.
Super easy, barely an inconvenience.
But they're 11-0, and they've got the biggest game of the year tomorrow at noon, high noon.
Well, I didn't think you had it in you.
I'm your huckleberry.
Why, Johnny Ringo, you look like somebody just walked over your grave.
And both teams are furious. If you haven't been keeping up with this, and I bet you have, that whole Michigan sign-stealing scandal with Connor Stallions. Now there's a scandal at Central Michigan because Connor Stallions somehow got on the sideline wearing Central Michigan's garb, which is crazy. The coaches are over there standing next to him like, it's normal to have this guy over here. So something's up on that deal. Something is up. And probably one or more people are going to lose their gig over it, which is really a shame. But look, you can't be allowing people over there to steal signs. You can't do that. So we'll see how that plays out. We'll probably find out something real soon, depending on how Central Michigan does. If they finish 5-7, we'll probably find out very shortly. If they make a bowl game, we'll probably have to wait a month because suddenly they can't find any information. They know exactly what happened, allegedly. So anyway, but this is a game. Look, here's why he's got to win. Why he must win. He's got the weight of the world on him. He's got the NCAA knocking the door down. He's currently suspended for the second time. He's still got a suspension he's got to deal with for the whole dead period deal where they had some cheeseburger problems and some other things. But this sign stealing thing is huge. He's also got the FBI up there poking around, and they've been up there for almost like a month and a half. And that could be worse than the NCAA thing. So there is so much smoke. Look, there's smoke, there's fire, there's everything. And what he needs to do, he's got to just keep winning, because I feel like the second he loses, Michigan's going to start weighing their options. But yeah, Jim's got to win this. He's got to win out. He needs to win the national title. Even that, I don't know. Michigan might stick with him if he wins a national title. I think the second he loses a game, college football playoffs, he's gone. They are not going to put him in the playoff. They lose anything. 1 game loss is all it takes, and they're out. They need any reason to get rid of Michigan, because they don't want that stain on them of having a national championship vacated and one team being left out when they would feel incredibly cheated. So this is a must-win for Jim Harbaugh at noon tomorrow. Then if he wins that, they got to win the Big Ten, whoever easy team they're going to play in that. But then when he gets in the playoff, he's got to win those games. So really it's national title or bust for Jim Harbaugh. And I think if he loses any of those games, he'll probably end up in the NFL next year, probably with the Raiders or some other team that's lame. So I did want to go over these hot seats, and I think they're quite hot. I can tell you it's getting hot in South Carolina, getting hot in Florida, and Michigan, hot's not even the right word. It's supercalifragilistic hot. That's from, what's that from? Chitty Chitty Bang Bang or something? I don't know. It's from my childhood. But anyway, if you like this content, be sure to hit that like button. Lets me know to continue to cover all things NCAA football, the SEC, some of the Big Ten stuff. Michigan, I can't stop watching this. I just can't. It's the most intriguing scandal I've ever seen, and I know a little something about it. We were involved in a scandal 3 years ago with Jeremy Pruitt, so you Michigan fans that made it through this, I do have some empathy for you, okay?
Okay.
But as far as South Carolina is concerned, I don't have a lot of empathy for Shane Beamer. I think you and Connor Stalions might be buddies. I can't prove that, but boy, oh boy, I wouldn't be surprised. Or one of your assistants or one of your analysts or something like that, allegedly. Anyway, as far as Billy Napier, it's nothing personal, Billy. I'm sure you're a great guy, but you are the coach of a team that is my nemesis, and you must go down. It's just the way it is. So anyway, and if you've not subscribed, it's on your right, my left. Just hit this little button right here. I would appreciate it. Cost you nothing. It'll help you get these videos. And I'm going to stay on top of this Michigan thing, so I can take care of that for you. If you just hit that little button, it'll send it right to you. And right over here is the most recent video. YouTube thinks you'll enjoy. And we'll see you next time on Sports Talk Jay.